Yeah, I posted in the Facebook. No one else fessed up.
It was pretty much just
Like my dad was laughing. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
He didn't like that.
Oh, you want to do
Oh, after having that means I'm here. Yes. So what? What is the other four?
Yeah. So the only thing that should go under
Yes.
It's like, no, it's just like, put it
It's one of the two. Yeah, but we don't have
trying to get the right words. You don't want to. It's very sensitive.
At least face. At least just like really.
Oh yeah, it's this year.
You don't have to.
Some Fridays, probably. Yeah, I got but it doesn't start the third one. They don't count as a one. At least a regular one. So we don't need to be. So I think we're sorry. So basically,
Yeah, I saw that
Yeah, that.
was actually the thing that everyone knew that was our. So good when people always feels like that.
I actually have.
That was the paper we were going to like.
I can see the part.
Yeah, that's what everyone keeps telling me. I do it for almost free. For what?
That's my accessible thinking. That's what you're like.
Yeah.
Really serious.
So how do you I talked to him like that.
What? Yeah, I don't see.
That's good for him.
Our population their dresses. Like,
It's not for everyone.
so, yeah. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to do more.
Very name of my fantasy.
But you know, yeah, no, it's really gosh, what?
Yes.
Long black hair.
I was gonna come ask you that very question. Good to see you.
We didn't, and we didn't. Now I'm like looking like they're my oh well. Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah, like
oh, it'll be you. Okay.
Great.
no way.
Oh, I was. I kept looking laughing. I'm like, I got wish.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome to George Washington Law, to the transfer class. I'm Elizabeth Ewart. I am your new Dean of Students, new to you. I've been here just over a year. This is my second orientation. We very much look forward to seeing you in the Dean of Students office for any and all issues that we can help you troubleshoot or problem solve. So please do come visit us. I wanted to introduce a couple special people before I get started. First of all, the people who are responsible for bringing you to us, our admissions office, Josie Shelby Wilson and Matt Dillard. Thank you to both of them for bringing it on. And especially nice day because it's Matt's birthday. So you're Matt's birthday present today, all these wonderful transfers. And I also want to introduce Ms. Paulette Morant, the wife of our dean, who is a lovely and regular fixture here at the law school, so you definitely need to get to know her early and often. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our dean. Dean Morant is the 19th dean of our law school and the Robert Kramer Research Professor of Law. He assumed the deanship here in September 2014. After serving as the dean of the Wake Forest Law School for 7 years. He's really one of the nation's best known and most respected legal educators and scholars. He's a tireless advocate for students and among his many professional accolades, earned a spot on the National Jurist magazine's coveted list of the most influential people in legal education for the past 4 years, was named the John R. Kramer Outstanding Law Dean by Equal Justice Works, and received the Chief Justice John Marshall Lifetime Achievement Award in 2012 from the Judge Advocates Association. For many years, Dean Morant has shared his talents on the national stage, serving in numerous leadership positions at the Association of American Law Schools and the American Bar Association, from which he just returned literally this morning. In 2015, he served as president of the Association of American Law Schools, where he earned widespread acclaim for spearheading efforts to advance excellence in legal education on a national level. Recently, you can find him writing for HuffPost. In fact, he has 2 current articles up there, one on the lawyer as hero and one in response to the violence in Charlottesville over the weekend. So we are just extremely proud to have Dean Morant as our dean. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dean Blake Morant.
Thank you so much, Dean Ewart. Don't you just love it when someone uses your mother's diary to introduce you? You have to shine when they do that. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to welcome you to the George Washington University community. And notice that I say community, because one of the things that I think really distinguishes our law school is the fact that all of the various elements, whether it's the faculty, the staff, the alumni, they all come together to make a community so that you, the students, feel that as you're in this demanding discipline. Now, as transfer students, you already know how demanding law school can be. And I will tell you, having been at a number of law schools, I have not seen many places like this one, which really treats students as an integral part of the overall community that makes this place as special as it is. You heard Dean Ewart say that I was dean of the Wake Forest Law School before coming here. I was dean there for 7 years. Another school that prides itself on a sense of community. But when this opportunity came up, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is Washington, D.C., law school is relatively large. It is not going to be the kind of place that I think legal education should really be, because today, in a 21st century global interconnected market, we need to really impress upon all of our students the importance of that human interaction that distinguishes the individual who merely knows their discipline, but don't have the appreciation of the human factor that is so important to your success. And that's why community is so important. And I will never forget when I came through the Dean Search, and I don't know if you know how the Dean Search process works. However, I will tell you just very briefly, if they invite you on campus, you are interviewing every single person who happens to be associated with GW Law for a solid 2.5 days. It is 2.5 days of nonstop talking. My mother said I was born for that process. And I recall during the midst of having a series of interviews with faculty, and I would be interviewed by them in small groups, but all day long. Halfway through, I interrupted the interview and said, oh my goodness, there's something I forgot to do. Would you please excuse me for a little bit while I do this? So I exited the room and I just walked the halls of the law school. And, you know, I was dressed the way I'm sort of dressed right now in the dean's uniform, and I couldn't tell anybody why I was there. But I would walk up to a group of students, and I couldn't tell them who I was. I just said, excuse me, but I happen to be sort of touring DC, and I have this thing about touring law schools. Oh God, I hope they believe me. And I just want to know why you decided to come here. Why are you at GW Law? And each group of students uniformly commented on that sense of community, where they felt that even though this is a demanding discipline, that everybody was sort of vested in their futures, that they didn't feel that same sense of competitiveness that many of their colleagues at other law schools felt, where you couldn't trust anybody else, or you couldn't rely on anybody else, or you couldn't even think that if I needed something, whom could I trust in order to do that? And that's what they didn't have as a fear here. Indeed, each and every group that I talked with talked about how their experience at the law school was so invaluable because of the sense of community that was here. I will tell you, the moment I kept hearing that, I knew if I were fortunate enough to be offered this position, it would be something that I would be honored to accept, because here's the law school that truly manifests what I feel legal education should be about. For you as transfer students, and that sometimes can be a little bit awkward because you didn't start with your class from the very beginning. This law school truly wants you to be an integral part of this very special community. Get involved as much as you can, and you will be welcomed in all of those variety of things. Know that all of us are open and accessible to you as you go along, and that you have joined a community that will follow you for the rest of your career, because we have over 27,000 living alumni all over the world in every major city doing amazing things, and all of them have that connection with GW to the point where if they know you're a part of that community, they're vested in your future. I know I'm taking a little bit of time, but I got to tell you this. As transfer student, you may also think, yeah, but he's just saying that. Am I really going to be an important part of this community? I will tell you, as dean of the law school, I travel quite frequently. And among those travels, I always meet with alumni. As I said, we have 27,000 of them. They're in cities all over the world. And I remember traveling out to Denver. And when I went out there, before I went out there, I asked my development office, who are some of the key people that we have out in Denver? Lo and behold, an individual that they indicated to me is a gentleman by the name of Rich Schlivka. Rich Schlivka is the general counsel and chief operating officer of the formerly Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos. And at the time I was going out there, they were marching toward that victory. That sort of intensified my desire to talk to him. And so I met with him, and lo and behold, Rich Schlivka was a transfer student. He was from Arizona. He had gone to the University of Arizona Law School. But he told me, he said, Dean, you know, I really wanted to get an enriched experience. And I know that DC is a place where it's the mecca for lawyers. And I had heard about the sense of community at GW, and so I decided to come. And he said, it's one of the best decisions I ever made, because in addition to the outstanding reputation that the law school has, in addition to it being in Washington, in addition to it actually valuing the student's experience, that network of GW has helped me each step of the way. And he says, and now, as general counsel and chief operating officer of the Denver Broncos, I hold my degree high as a very valuable part of my success. I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for GW. I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that made me smile, because we were in a capital campaign at the time, and I needed to ask him for money. And that was my punchline. We need you too, Rich. But the one thing he said as I ended that conversation, he said, because there were at the time, there was a lot of conversation about law schools that accept a number of transfers, whether that was the right thing to do, whether it was not in the interest of the students that we were bringing in. And he said, I hope that you are not re-examining your policy, that you would not continue to do that. Because if that were the case when I was coming in, I would have never had the opportunities that I had. I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there are a number of Rich Slivkas out there. They're not all chief operating officers of Super Bowl teams, but they're individuals who have been very successful in their careers and have all echoed Rich's statement that coming to this law school has really enriched them and gave them the opportunities to do what they're doing today. You might also want to keep his name in mind, because I have started, since being dean, a program here at the law school called Conversations with the Dean. And what I do is, with certain alumni, I will invite them to come up and sit down with me and have a conversation about their lives and their careers, their experience here at the law school, for all of the student body to see. And in September, Rich Slivka will be my first guest there. So hopefully all of you will have an opportunity to come and hear that. And at the end of this, you'll have an opportunity to interact with him. That's the kind of community this is. So I want to welcome you all here. It's a pleasure to have you on board. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you. Get involved in this community. Know that it wants you as a part of it. And carry on that moniker, GW Law, which I guarantee will inure to your benefit for the rest of your careers. So now it gives me a great deal of pleasure to pass the baton off to someone who has taught at the law school for a number of years, maybe close to 17, I might say, 15, 14, 12, 13. He's in the teens. This is an individual whom I have known for a very, very long time. He is a renowned scholar of criminal law, having written a number of books and articles that are cited widely in the field. He's an individual who's known as one of our stellar teachers, always hitting it off the mark in their evaluations. And when it was time for me to find a new number two, this is the individual who is the Senior Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, I knew I would be very lucky if I were to bring on this individual. And indeed, he has said yes. He has made a huge impact on this law school in the years that he has been with me as Associate Dean. I welcome to you, who will greet you now, the Senior Associate Dean for Academic Affairs for the law school, Roger Fairfax.
Good afternoon. You guys awake? Good afternoon. All right, well, welcome to GW Law School. As Dean Moran said, my name is Roger Fairfax, and I'm the Senior Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. And as the Dean mentioned, this is a tremendously special and welcoming community of which we are all very proud. We're so pleased that you are now a part of the GW Law family. You are a phenomenal group. I had the opportunity to speak to our colleagues in admissions to get the scoop on all of you. And it was an amazing collection of achievements that was conveyed. If we take a look, first of all, the fact that you hail from 20 different law schools and 39 different undergraduate institutions with more than 20 different undergraduate majors. You possess 9 different types of graduate degrees, including the PhD. So we'll have to remember to refer to that person as doctor in class. You are fluent or proficient in a number of languages, including Spanish, German, French, Mandarin, Chinese, Farsi, and Arabic. You've had a variety of jobs, professions, and avocations, including financial analyst, registered patent agent, certified public accountant, certified grant writer, language analyst, tennis pro, and I just want to say that Mr. and Mrs. Morant up there are tennis fans, so I don't know if they're tennis pros. Not pros, but fans. A volunteer firefighter is really cool. A Division I college football player, so I want to seek that person out as well. and a substitute teacher. And if you happen to have been a middle school substitute teacher, my apologies on behalf of the American educational system, because I know how difficult it is to be a middle school teacher, much less a substitute middle school teacher. So you are more than prepared for GW Law School. But this is an amazing group, and that's fitting because GW Law School is an amazing place in which to study law. I hope that you'll take advantage of our countless courses and seminars and other academic offerings over the course of the year, and opportunities to work with faculty, many of whom are leading lights in their fields. And will give you the opportunity to not only study along with them, but help to shape their own research as they go forward. I also want to acknowledge our talented and dedicated staff and invite you to engage with them. And also to just meet each other and the other students you'll be joining when classes start. It's such an accomplished and diverse student body, and I encourage you to take advantage of that. And as the dean mentioned, our unparalleled alumni network is key to the career exploration that is so much a part of the GW Law School experience. So you're really at the right place at the right time. Thank you for choosing GW Law School. Congratulations on being here, and we are so happy that you have chosen to continue your educational journey with us, and look forward to working with you. And once again, welcome to the GW Law family. And so now it gives me great pleasure to introduce your Student Bar Association President, Sean Winker. Now, Sean is a third-year law student here and as a member of the GW International Law Review. He's a member of the GW Mock Trial Board, and a little trivia, won the first-year mock trial competition. So, Counselor, the jury is yours.
Thank you for that introduction, Dean Fairfax. Good evening, everyone. And as Dean Fairfax said, my name is Sean Winker. I'm the Student Bar Association president. I just want to say on behalf of the SBA, congratulations and welcome to GW Law. For those of you who may not know, the SBA, I didn't know when I was sitting here, but the SBA is the student government of the law school. And our mission is to help you get the most out of your experience here at GW. And we aim to do that by representing your interests, by advocating on your behalf, and by providing a variety of just different academic, professional, and student resources to each of you. And we in fact have a team and staff specifically for transfer students, and Director of Transfer Student Affairs, Umir Mopsa, will come up and speak to you a little bit more about those just after me. But for now, I really just want to say that I'm very excited to welcome you here. And when I think about GW and the law school experience in general, I'm reminded of a lot of the things that Dean Morant was just talking about, Dean Fairfax was just talking about, but also I'm reminded of Joseph Campbell's Hero with 1,000 Faces, proving, I think, once and for all that my undergraduate English degree is useful in extremely, very limited scopes and contexts. But Campbell argues in Hero with 1,000 Faces that virtually all storytelling cultures from across the world from different time periods developed hero myths and tales that follow essentially the same structure. And they start off with heroes who are bright-eyed but inexperienced, who are going off on quests that they're not yet qualified to complete. But along the way, they'll meet a mentor or mentors who will teach them and give them the skills and knowledge that they're going to need to overcome the obstacles ahead. And they'll meet friends who will provide them with support and protection, who will teach them the strength and their fortitude that they're going to need to overcome the obstacles and adversity they'll face. However, at the climax of the story, inevitably, the hero will have to face the greatest conflict or challenge alone. They won't have the mentors and the friends there to answer the questions for them or to overcome the obstacle or defeat the bad guy, whatever it may be. But they will be able to apply the skills, the knowledge, the strength that they learn from their mentors and their friends to overcome and complete the task at hand. That's a lot like the journey that we're on right here, and it's a lot like the journey that you all started in your first years at your other schools. We all came here for the same reasons, and we all started off as bright-eyed future lawyers, but we're not ready to be lawyers yet. We're still not. But our esteemed faculty, some of the greatest legal minds in the country, are those wise mentors who are going to guide us on the way forward, and they're going to impart on us the knowledge that we need to answer the tough questions in our careers. And a lot of those questions start here, right? We have final exams. We start with finals, and then it's the bar exam, and for some of us it'll be our first trial, and so on throughout our careers. Our professors aren't going to be there to answer the questions for us, and in a lot of cases they're going to be the ones asking them. They'll be the ones challenging us, but their lessons, the knowledge that they impart on us, they'll help us grow, and they'll make sure that when the time comes, we'll have the answers, and we'll get it right. Now, as transfer students, you face a particular new challenge in coming in from one community to another, but the people that are sitting in this room and that are sitting next to you, your classmates, and the students that are all in the SBA are the friends who are going to support you and help you on your journey. Dean Morant and Dean Fairfax are both talking about the excellence of GW with the strength of its community, and I can say as a student that's very much true. We have close to 2,000 students here who are all willing to be your friend and support you. We are a very supportive community. We don't hesitate to help each other when it may be you have a question or you need notes because you missed a class or you just need someone you want to talk to, grab a drink, grab coffee, whatever it may be. We don't hesitate to do it here. These are the people that you're going to be able to rely on going forward. And, our paths may be different. We come from different schools, from different backgrounds. We have different individual experiences, but at GW Law, we want you to be here and we welcome you here, not regardless of all of those things, but because of those things that make you all unique. Ultimately, as students, we have the same goal in mind, I think, which is to just be done with school, right? But my advice to you for now is this, and you're here, of course, to learn from the faculty, from your mentors, but don't forget to learn from each other, to learn from your shared experiences and to collaborate, to work together and learn together, but also to learn and grow from each other in addition to all as one. And that's, I think, the best way that you can contribute to the community and culture at GW Law. I just want to say that your classmates, they're all here for you, the ones that are sitting here, but as well as the ones who are already here. The SBA is here for you, the admin is here for you, the staff, the faculty, they're all here for you. And there are going to be things that you don't know the answers to. And like I said, I didn't know what the SBA was when I got here, but I found people along the way who would help me and guide me to get to where I am. Just like I did, you'll learn. And I would say that about GW Law, everyone you see can and will help you to learn. So what I think I need to say is that your experience here is whatever you're going to make of it. And I think that's true for a lot of different things. So I encourage you to get involved and not to hesitate. Go out and ask and seek out the people that you want to learn from because they're here. Everyone is here because they want to help you. So welcome. And thank you for choosing GW Law. And now I want to introduce Umair Mamsa, he's our Director of Transfer Student Affairs, who will tell you a little bit about the specific opportunities that are available to transfer students within the SPA, who's a transfer student himself, and can tell you a little bit about his experiences coming to GW Law last year. Thank you.
Welcome to the most exciting legal community in DC. For me, it feels so wonderful